Hello, friend. I have a story to tell you today. It's the story of my daughter's life. She died of lung cancer at the age of 39, and I have written a book which I think is helpful to us today in the very difficult circumstances in which we live. It brings hope and encouragement and a sense that all is well. I hope you enjoy it. Episode 25. Hello all you wonderful people, Shirley chirps in her text of the 2nd of January, and a very happy new year. The dark hospital days are over. I feel that every day I have a choice to live in fear and defeat, or to follow my dreams and live victoriously. Thankfully, God is always good and doesn't hold the times I collapse into a heap against me. Loving you all, hoping you're all going to have a victorious 2014 too. The docs have said that once on oral chemo, I might even be able to go back to work. So that sounded pretty cool. She chuckles. Not the going back to work bit, of course. I do need to decide what to do about work. My company has been very supportive, but my heart isn't in the job anymore. I'd love to work for a Christian organization and/or use my counseling skills. She chokes up. I haven't lived my life the way I ideally wanted to. So now I'm just so longing for the opportunity to do it again, and to do it right, and to do it for God. Please could you pray that God leads me into the right thing soon? At her next consultation, Shirley reminds Claire, "What do they say? Can I fly? I want to go to California and South Africa." Claire tells her they say yes, and goes on to ask about insurance. "Oh, I just won't take any out," Shirley replies, completely disarming Claire with an impish grin. She laughs and then responds, with a catch in her voice, "We'll get you home to South Africa, I promise." Later, Shirley walks thoughtfully down Sandy Lane to a bench in the park, a good place to sit and think. In the weak wintry sun, 2 children play on the swings. What does the future hold? In a way, the hospital routine was safe. The days ahead all predetermined and prescribed for me. What I do know for sure is that I don't want to waste a single day of the life left to me. I want to use each day to serve God. It doesn't take Shirley long to put together a list for the immediate future. Apart from a number of conferences, she wants to enroll with London University to do a counselling course and start singing lessons again and go back to leading a worship team at Greyfriars. Chris comes up with a suggestion. Why not join Still the Hunger, a newly established Greyfriars initiative in Reading? "Oh, Mum, how wonderful! This is exactly what I want." She starts attending meetings straight away, but can't keep it up regularly because of the days when her strength fails. "Hey, Nick," Shirley calls as she bangs on the door of his cottage in Shiplake. "Here I am, at your service. First, tell me, how did you get to be lifted off a mountain in a helicopter?" Nick laughs. "Well, you know how it is. People like me, people like you don't need to frighten the rest of us to death. But jokes aside, what happened?" "I don't know, really. There we were, walking along a trail, and I suddenly felt very strange, slid to the ground and passed out. Dramatic, I must say. What do the doctors say? They don't know what to think. What they do know is that they don't want me to drive for 6 months, which is why I'm here, to drive you to Tesco. Otherwise we'll have to add starvation to your list of complaints." "Oh, Mum," Shirley says when she gets back, "Nick's challenged me to consider that perhaps God is not going to heal me. I wasn't ready for this. Not now." The meltdown that follows is huge. I cry out to God. I've come to know him as the only real comforter. Is this, in the end, what he wants Shirley to come to accept? Really? In Oxford, Claire talks about giving Shirley time to recover. The immediate problems are anemia and persistent tiredness that does not leave bones, flesh and soul untested. Shirley decides to try a diet of everything fresh and raw. With a wry comment, "Luckily I like vegetables," she begins the diet after Christmas. Brian, back in South Africa from the 4th of January, teases, "Sure, I managed to escape just in time." Every day I prepare a smorgasbord of raw, healthy dishes. I can always count on raw green beans to go down. Shirley loves those. Brian plants beans in his summer garden. He hopes they'll be ready when she visits in March. With the help of all the physio, Shirley now walks without a limp. At Dinton Pastures, we walk right round the lake, Shirley with only one crutch. It's a day when the water captures so many lovely reflections, clouds and swans and overhanging trees. On another day, Shirley packs her swimming gear. She comes back smiling. "I swam 22 lengths, she tells me, eyes glowing with triumph. We chat as Shirley drives us to Oxford for yet another consultation. "So many times, Mum, the news is worse than it was the time before," Shirley says. "So is that what's going to happen this time too?" When Vicky ushers us in to see Claire, she and Shirley make and hold eye contact. "I'm so sorry, Shirley. The scans show that the tumours in your lungs have grown since November. There are 2 in particular that are really growing." The colour drains from our faces. "We are discussing the options with the respiratory clinic." Claire's voice is soft. "These include 2 different types of radiotherapy, surgery and oral chemo. The trouble with the chemo pills is the possible side effects. I have to say these are really bad. They include very high blood pressure, nausea, stroke and damage to your heart. And your lungs could perforate, which would be fatal." As we drive home, the windscreen wipers slosh the rain to and fro, like the profound misery we feel. We can manage tears, but we are actually too deeply upset to talk. At home, Shirley just drops everything, gets into bed. In an agony of pain, she messages disconsolately, "Been a rubbish day. While all the focus has been on my leg, the tumours in my lungs have had a bit of a party and have developed quite a lot. We are pretty devastated, Mum and I. I'll only hear next week, but most likely I'll be on pills. I'm angry, sad, frustrated, but am reminded that God gives us what we need when we need it, so my time for healing is not yet here. So sad, though, that this horrible situation is causing so much pain to me and the people I love. Sucks." Still very honest, she sends another message. "Very, very hard day today, 18th of January. Am heartbroken. Today I'm not able to have hope. I'd really appreciate your prayers." Joe responds, "We are standing with you, holding up your hands. Thank you. I feel that God is asking whether I'll still trust and love him, even if I'm not healed. Very tough." "Very tough," Joe agrees. "But keep choosing him. He's always faithful, even when we don't know how or why." All weekend long I watch and wait. I text Chris. Today has been a nightmare. Shirley's heartbroken and without hope. And Lynn. Shirley's agony is heartbreaking, so very distressing. And Nat's. How grateful I am when you and others stand in the gap, as I am so weak. Lynn responds, thinking of how your mother heart is being wrenched. God shows me a new thing. I have come into a different relationship with him. I'm now also enrolled with him in his large fellowship of sufferers. I'm plodding up a high mountain. All he wants of me is to cling on and take the next step. Disconsolately, I share my heart in a round robin. Shirley believes it's up to her to pick everyone up, so she needs to put on a brave face. but she's feeling so wiped out, and she's not sure she can. We struggle so to still have hope. We cling to so many wonderful scriptures. I'm asking God desperately for his power and grace, and Brian needs comfort so far away. We really need a miracle from God. The sooner the better. For a brief moment, Shirley considers that she might die. She's worried about what will become of Wolf and Shellycat. I remind her that Stuart has promised he will have them back any time. I feel at a complete loss. I keep crying out to God to use me somehow to help her. But I am in awe. To me, he seems to be saying to her, "Do you, my beloved Shirley, love and trust me enough if you are to die?" It reminds me of Abraham coming to the point of sacrificing his treasure. Is God actually gradually helping her to face what until now has been totally unthinkable? Surely, if that is so, coming to that point is a huge spiritual leap. No wonder it takes a long, long time, and the tenderest nurturing. All week long, Shirley just can't get out of bed. She's so very tired, been battling for so incredibly long. For now, she's given up. "Oh, Katie," she texts, "I can't really find the energy to start fighting again. I really can't." A whole lot later, she tells her diary, "I don't understand why this is happening, but it's really beginning to dawn on me that God actually loves me." A few days later, a round robin follows the text. "Mum and I have been hard hit by the news. This weekend I visited some very dark places. I felt tested to the limit. The oral chemo that is probably next is weaker than the drugs I've been having so far, so it remains to be seen whether it will work. Please, could you pray that, although the doctors don't hold out much hope, we are able to have hope in God. Also pray for protection against dwelling in very dark places, and pray for relief. I'm so very tired of the pain and uncertainty, and long to know more of God's peace." Texts arrive from all over. An army of friends, empathizes, encourages and prays. When Sunday comes and I crawl into bed behind her and just hold her, she says, "So, if God is not going to heal me, I'm okay with that, Mum." I've been reading from my book, Mum, Please Help Me Die, the story of my daughter Shirley's battle with cancer. If you'd like to get a copy of the book, please contact me. You can do that at the following email address, thai@mumpleasehelpmedie.co.za. I hope you'll be with me again next week. Goodbye.